Fuck they talking about Cabo? What they talking about, man? I ain't been back 12 hours yet. Rock it up.
Bentley. You bring that Bentley out, you hear? Shit looking tight slick. I don't know, Black.
They both good, but they no good. They stay in the house. Them the house phone. That's the iPhone. That's a real iPhone 4. Cabo, what's up? What they talking about? I like the hat. Chunky on the chest, no homo. Real chunky, man. I will get a couple.
Mase told me how to rap, and Cam always made sure I was on every single album he had. He was like, boy, once you figure out how to rap the same way you act in these streets, it's gonna work for you. Just keep going. And that's all so I always gotta give credit to where credit is due and shit like that. It would be no Jim Jones. This shit ain't no game. They can't play with me too much. I give them the floor to do that because that serves me no purpose. I got too much to worry about, too much to do.
What was your reaction when Cam'ron brought up all these old stories and everything about you?
I laugh, man. I got this thing, man. People laugh at the lies, but the truth always hurt. You know, lies are more entertaining. You heard? You get to laugh, you get the joke, but the truth is a serious thing, no matter how you look at it. The truth is what the truth is.
Every nigga that put hands on you or you get to altercation, you cool with him. You tried to chase French Montana out the game, that ain't work out. Y'all got cool. So cool that you go to his video shoot, pardon me, not his video shoot, his movie. You're sitting in the crowd watching the premiere and they dissing you in the movie. You in the movie getting dissing, you gotta eat it, just sitting in the crowd. Nah. They dissing you in the movie that you went to go see, bro. Every nigga that do something to put pressure on you, you sit there and work it out. But when they got a little genuine heart for you and all that, cool, that's the pattern. If they don't put hands on you, then you can keep going on and on and on. But the niggas who do this, you cool with, and then the niggas who try to handle it sophisticatedly, you keep going on and on like niggas give a f about all that shit, bro. So don't care about none of that shit, man. Don't care a little bit, man. What I'll finish with is this, man. I'm never here to downplay your character. As much as you try to degrade my character for years and push me under the bus and say, I ain't start this and I ain't do that, and you started Pink and you made the Diplomats, which is just... Do you ever hear me talk about when you ran on me when BMF pulled up? When you ran in the hotel, they chased you to the beach. Yeah, they chased you to the beach, you was in the sand. You was getting wet from the water, from the ocean. I don't pump that. I don't pump all that shit because I ain't trying to degrade your character. You know why? Because the revolution was televised. That's why I'm here. That's why God worked like that. That's why me and Murder is here. The revolution was televised. Because you talking.
Cam'ron and Mase just went off on Jim Jones, and the words hit harder than anyone expected. Old stories, long hidden truths, and decades of hip-hop history are clashing live. This isn't just drama, it's power, pride, and legacy being tested in real time. You think you know what happened? Wait until you hear what they really said. Stay tuned, because this one's heavy. This situation isn't just about old stories resurfacing. It's really about how truth and entertainment don't land the same anymore. When Cam brought up those past moments, Jim didn't snap, didn't tense up. He laughed it off like it was light. But don't confuse laughter with zero pain. Laughing doesn't mean something didn't sting. Jim straight up said lies move faster because they're funny, easy, and perfect for jokes. The truth hits different. It sits heavy, even when people act like they don't feel it. You can joke about rumors all day, but when truth walks in, the whole room shifts. That's why Jim said, "This ain't a game. Nobody gets to play with my name like that." He let Cam talk not because he had to, but because responding to everything is pointless when you've got real moves lined up. This wasn't anger. This was confidence. And once those stories touched the internet again, the energy changed fast.
I was at Jim album release party, and everybody was over there with Jim, and Cam is standing over here with like 3 or 4 people just looking on and couldn't believe that Jim is the guy. There's no Dipset without Jim. Jim is the gangbanger of the crew. Cam is not a blood. I don't even know if Jewels was. I doubt Freaky was, right? But the set, it comes from the gang, right? All the gang all ran under Jim.
Right.
All the muscle was Jim. That wasn't Cam. You know what I'm saying?
Cam was like the Jay-Z.
Cam was the artist. Jim and Cam were partners, so to speak, but Jim took the role of being the underboss, the muscle, to make sure that Cam could function and move around and not have a bad reputation or you be getting robbed and all this other stuff. So Jim put he stood front line for anything in regards to Cam, and then he put Dipset in front of Cam. The wedge that came between Cam and Jim is Jim's success. Cam always looked at him as being the star, Jim being capo. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it's kind of like Sammy the Bull becoming John Gotti. You know what I'm saying? Gotti's probably gonna feel a little way if Sammy becomes the main man. You know what I'm saying? And in that situation, that's what it is. Jim started to grow as an artist. And as he started to grow as an artist, he started moving from standing behind Cam to he started standing next to Cam. And then it got to a point where he stood in front of Cam. Mm-hmm. And Cam was looking him over his shoulder like, yo, what you doing? And then that built the animosity. And by the time Ballin' hit, Cam had a gang of animosity and internal hatred. And I know because I seen it, I was there. I felt like he was a fucking hater because like I felt like he was supposed to be happy for Jim. He was under the wing. Jim was the muscle. You get what I'm saying? Jim he's Cam's partner. But he's taking a step back to play the muscle.
This is where things start getting messy, because the moment the words Mase taught you how to rap hit the air, everything flipped. This wasn't just about music anymore. This was about credit, origins, and who really put who on. Jim made it clear. Mase taught him technique, structure, discipline. But Cam pushed him to be himself, not a carbon copy. Cam's advice was simple but heavy. Rap how you move in real life and it'll connect. That wasn't control, that was mentorship. Jim has always said he gives credit where it's due, but that doesn't mean anyone gets to rewrite the whole story. And that's why this touched a nerve. Teaching someone skills doesn't mean you own their success. Once that line got crossed, this stopped being friendly history and turned into a fight over legacy.
Cam and Jim history go back before me. You understand what I'm saying? When I met Cam and Jim, they were super close. So I honestly don't really know Jim being from the Bronx and all that. You know what I'm saying? When I met them, they was in 5H, which is, you know what I'm saying, Jim's apartment, and that's, you know, like, I guess that time was after all the stuff Cam had said already with the Children of the Corn and Jim, you know, whatever he said, you know what I'm saying? So, like I said, when I got there, Cam and Jim was like this, super tight. Mase wasn't even in the picture. I don't know Mase like that. You know what I'm saying? Every time I seen Mase, it's been a mutual, you know what I'm saying, respect there. So, you know, that's what that's been as far as me and Mase, you know what I'm saying? As far as, yeah, when I met Cam and Jim, they were already Trump tight and locked in. You understand what I'm saying? The Diplomats was already a name they had. You know what I'm saying? I don't sit there and claim I made the dip, so that's not something I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? I made Dipset though, the two. Yeah, I did that. You know what I'm saying?
This is where people started noticing a pattern, and it got uncomfortable real quick. Jim's name got linked to the idea that he tried to pressure French Montana out the game. And when that didn't work, suddenly everything was cool again. Not just cool, movie premieres, public events, sitting in the crowd while shots were being fired right there on screen. That's what made it look crazy. Imagine watching a movie knowing the energy is aimed at you and still sitting there unfazed. To some, that looked calm. To others, it looked like swallowing disrespect. But the real debate wasn't even about French. It was about how Jim handles pressure. The claim was simple. When it's real smoke, things get smoothed out. But when it's just talk, the back and forth never stops. That's why this moment poured gas on the conversation. Podcast culture changed the game, and once names get dropped, everything gets exposed.
You know, the internet gets kind of crazy with the lies. The lies
can't-
going crazy on the
I
internet.
mean, well, the
They
lies
say,
start from a narrative, and the narrative starts from a person, and you just got to look at it like that. But I've never been one in my life to care about clearing up no rumors. Like that just take time out of my day from making money. I know who I am. I'm very comfortable in my skin. I stand 10 toes down on everything I believe in. I don't change my pivot, and everybody knows that. I mean, as you can see, I would not be here if I did anything else but be me.
Stop tricking out their freedom, bro. This is gonna be the last time I address this. Whatever you got to say after this, good luck. I wish you luck. I got other shit to do. This is not on my motherfucking plate. Believe what you want to believe, because I got other things to do. You feel me, Murder? I ain't want to snap one of them nose, but yeah, I'm good.
Here goes some popcorn stat.
Jim wasn't directly attacked, but his name got pulled into it, and these days that's enough to spark a response. That's how this era works. One comment turns into a headline overnight. Jim chose to respond his way, standing firm and pushing back. Cam picked his lane too. Once both sides locked in, the internet did what it does best. Clips got sliced up, narratives got flipped, and suddenly old history looked brand new. That's the thin line everyone talks about. Stay silent and people call it guilt. Speak up and it turns into madness. Jim Jones didn't start this, but once the mic was open, there was no putting it back down. This is where things really cracked, because this wasn't just personal anymore. This was power shifting in real time.
But now people got these platforms where, you know, they asking people, so it's like a thin line. So then you got Jim, like, it's just like people say, you can't respond. Even though Jim wasn't attacked, his name was mentioned. You understand what I'm saying? So now it opens the door for Jim to say something back. That's what happens. You know what I'm saying? With these podcasts and shit like that. So it opens the door, and Jim chose to, you know, say why just on his dick. You know what I'm saying? That's how Jim chose to carry it. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, Cam chose to carry it the way Cam chose to carry it, and you have what you have now. You know what I'm saying? All I can say is Jim and Cam are very competitive. You understand what I'm saying? They've always been competitive, and it got to the point to where, you know, they had to be competitive against each other. I really looked at podcasts the other day. I was watching a bunch of podcasts. I'm like, it's crazy how all these old stories are getting everybody into so much trouble. These are just be old stories. Even like all this Cam said was something. He said all that on a live he did before. Or pretty much, like he did, you know what I mean? With him and Jim had some words, you know, they weren't on the best of terms years ago. So, you know, it's just new to the new listeners, you know what I'm saying? And the new internet fans and the new people that are on, you know, these podcasts and listening to these podcasts. So, you know, this is just like a double back of something that happened a couple years ago. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, did this again. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of, like I said, you know, because I have my own issues with, you know what I mean? Behind the scenes, or whatever the case may be. We all probably have our own issues behind the scenes with whoever, but, you know.
From the beginning, the roles were clear. Cam was the artist, the face, the spotlight. Jim Jones was the muscle, the front line, the one making sure everything moves safely and smoothly.
Mase needed to go on a diet. He needed to get his life together. He needed to go to the doctor and get a physical. He looked terrible, bad body, back ass. He looked big around the neck, waist looked crazy. I'm body shaming this. You heard? He needed to go get his shit together, get on the treadmill, do some push-ups, do something. You heard? Especially for playing with me.
For a long time, GM had Cam's back, holding the line so the vision could grow. But once Jim started leveling up as an artist, the vibe shifted, and the energy between them began to change.
You was a fan. You begged us. You are a fan, nigga. A fan. So you can sit around and act like you've been around all this Harlem shit and everything. You ever see somebody from Harlem try to act like they from Harlem so bad that you got to keep saying, I'm from Harlem? From Harlem, know who's from Harlem. You don't have to keep saying you from Harlem.
Standing behid slowly turned into standing next to, and then suddenly he's standing out front. That kind of shift doesn't sit right when the spotlight starts drifting. Pride gets tested. It's like when the underboss suddenly becomes the main attraction. Somebody's bound to feel away.
They know what I've done. Dance around it all they want and shit like that, joking, but they know if I get upset, it's gonna be a real problem.
Get out of here.
Yeah, listen, man. Listen. You were fanned out and you begged to come to your house after you heard all these mixtapes. That's how you got in. Mase actually taught you how to rap. Literally. He taught you how to rap.
Mase taught me how to rap.
You say it. We taught you how to rap. How you ran the whole organization. How you made Diplomat. And you ain't make none of this stuff. You was a fan. That's how you got down originally. Period. I heard the new shit you did. Yo, you want to come through? Come through. Why? Why are we going to Jomo's house? So yeah, I would bring some bitches over there sometime. A little back mate.
That tension didn't come from hate overnight. It came from growth crashing into ego. And once Ballin hit, the balance was already off. This is the part people don't like hearing, because the internet thrives on stories, not facts. Jim made it clear, lies don't just appear, they start with a narrative. And narratives always start with a person. Once that story hits the timeline, it grows legs and runs wild.
I was the CEO of Diplomats. I made Diplomats with him. I was with him for every bit of his journey. I held him down. I took that position of holding him down.
You are a guardian angel and designer. What the is you talking about, man? You are not from Harlem. Why do you keep thinking that you are from Harlem, bro? You are not from Harlem. I did not grow up with you, man. Do you remember how we met? Pause. So not met, how you got cool with us? Basically, you heard our freestyles. And you came up to me one day when I was chilling in front of the house. You said, yo, man, I heard the freestyles. Y'all killing shit. More freestyles come out. Yo, I heard the new shit you did. Children of the Corn, 12-minute freestyle. Mase, Cam'ron, Cardan, DJ Clue. Google Bloodshed and Cam'ron, Children of the Corn, freestyle. Are you at any of these places? No, you was not there, man. You wasn't there.
Here's the difference. Jim never felt the need to pause his life to clean up rumors. He knows who he is, stands on what he believes, and doesn't bend for public opinion. While the internet debates history, he's focused on money and moving forward. That's why he laughs instead of reacting. Lies get clicks. Truth doesn't need marketing. When you're solid in your skin, you don't chase every comment or headline. And that's what frustrated people the most. Silence gets labeled as weakness when really it's someone refusing to play internet games. This is where the tone shifted completely. You could hear the line being drawn. Jim made it clear this was the last time he was speaking on this, not out of fear, not under pressure, but because he's got bigger things to handle. He said this whole situation only feels louder now because it's reaching new audiences. These stories aren't new. They just sound new to people who weren't there back then. Podcasts turned old history into fresh drama, and suddenly everyone's acting shocked. Jim also admitted the competition between him and Cam was always there. It never disappeared. It just changed shape. At some point, competing with the world turned into competing with each other, and that's why Jim shut it down right here. No more back and forth. No more explaining. No more feeding it. Believe what you want. Pick your side and keep it moving, because he's not parking his life in comment sections. This is how old history becomes dangerous in a new era. These platforms don't let anything stay buried. Private conversations turn into headlines, clips, and debates for people who weren't even around. What made this explode wasn't new disrespect. It was old moments meeting new microphones. Once names get said, the rules change. Silence looks like guilt. Speaking turns into chaos. That's the thin line everyone keeps tripping over. At the end of the day, this isn't about who talks louder. It's about who you believe. Some people laugh it off. Some feel the truth hit heavy. Nah. Others are just here for the show. Now it's on you. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let it be known where you stand. Smash that like, hit subscribe, and tap that hype button so this video keeps moving. The streets are watching. The internet is loud.